What's up? What's
Yo,
up? What's
yo, yo.
up?
Dr. Chuck, I see you got your mask on, brother.
Yeah, looking like you.
You a Dr. Chuck, man. What's going on, man? Everybody all right?
Nah, man. Triage, emergency response. That ain't got nothing to do with Jackson Water. You got to
Yeah.
explain
Oh,
it.
Lord.
Jackson Madison.
Lord. Lord. The other Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah. But he's doing all right though.
yeah. We about to go back in. Just want to get y'all started and and tell everybody, look, it's Nightcap knowledge. We do it from anywhere we got to do it from because we put something on your head before you go to bed.
That
So tonight
part.
Yeah.
is don't run around the house with your toothbrush in your mouth.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Let me make that note. Do not run around the house with your
With your
toothbrush
toothbrush in your
in
mouth.
your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Hey, you need
Not
to create
not mouth. Mouth.
mouth.
Mouth,
MOUF. Mouth.
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 Yeah, man. But look, man, we gonna really seriously though. We hope he's doing good and hope you're doing okay. You
Yeah.
probably about as stressed as he is, or if not more. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. If my grandma used to say, you don't whoop yourself. He don't whoop
That
himself.
that part.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
get
No dessert,
like,
no none of the stuff he want for a while. Yeah. He don't whoop himself.
oh yeah. Well, look, we got a great show lined up, one with a lot of action packed into
Yeah.
it, a lot of call to action. So I'm gonna jump out. We're gonna go back into the ER, and I'll let y'all have it. We get ready to roll on with what we do every Tuesday.
All right,
There you
sound
go.
good, brother. All right,
All
y'all
right,
be
brother. We
safe.
love you.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
drink some Jack Apple just for you, Chuck.
You drink Jack Apple, I'm gonna drink water.
I'm drinking water too.
Now I gotta look. I got 3 more days, and I'm gonna be able to drink my Jack. I already have my recipe for the getting you jacked up tonight. Yum.
Oh. So for those who just not tuning in, this is Nightcap Knowledge. This show is rated black and uncensored, real talk, real issues, real solutions, and we're gonna tell it like a TI is.
Ti
It might
is.
not be politically correct, but it's gonna come out. So we're gonna make it do what it do. TBC, and then
Yum.
Mr. MAC. DJ George Chuck is at the ER right now handling some family business, but everybody's doing okay.
Yep.
We're going to jump in with, we're going to do the music check in. We're going to jump in with the mental health minute. So, the mental health minute
There you
coming
go.
off of, um, you know, sometimes politically correct, and we talk about the day we give thanks, which is every day, but the day in which colonizers first started, one of their major things in history with rewriting history. And I tell people that's probably one of the least inexpensive holidays that came up. It's all about sitting with family and enjoying yourself. So that's why there's not a lot of weight put on Thanksgiving because it's not nothing that corporate can make a lot of money off of besides selling turkeys. Black Friday is where they make their money the day after. So the importance of celebration is something I talk about after a large weekend, um, because the importance of being able to see people, being able to see family. A lot of folks are getting those phone calls, and or being with someone and they are no longer here. So anytime you get a chance to spend time with friends or family, it's a cherished moment. And these days and times, as my grandmother would say, it's just as many short graves as it is long, meaning that younger people are leaving and transitioning to be with the ancestors just as quick as older. So you enjoy those moments you create with family and friends. And in social work, we say the importance of human relationships. So understand that is as important. Understanding the importance of human relationships. So um, that is um, that is the mental health minute, which is the importance of celebration and enjoying each other, yourself, and just being being thankful to be here and to be able to be seen and to be heard. So TBC, what you got? I can't hear you, Tanya.
I forgot I muted my mic. My bad. So much is going on. So much is happening in the music industry. I can definitely talk about all of current events. However, other networks and outlets have already covered that. We can see that on social media. I feel my main important check in tonight is to check in on how you doing. Like, what is it that you've been inspired to do creatively as an artist, a musician? And also, from a previous experience I had, I want to check into the understanding of working with people can be difficult at times. However, the question is, how accountable are you in adding to the solution or the problem? So check in with yourself and see what it is that you're contributing. Are you contributing to make this song or this artwork beautiful, or are you creating the abstract of rage? So just check in with yourself. You guys know I am 100% um, on just making sure peace of mind that we're there,
Mhm.
sound, and effective to continue to create what we want to create. So, with that being said, I want to make sure I make an announcement that if you are interested in being on Nightcap Knowledge to share your gifts, your talents, your next upcoming project or book, movie, whatever it may be, as a Black creative, we want to hear about it. We want to have you on the show to share with our audience and to make them aware of who you are. So email us your EPK or bio to nightcapknowledge@gmail.com so we can continue telling the story about us, for us, by us, and continue to pour into us. So, yeah.
So nightcap knowledge and this podcast is created so we can be able to uplift things in a relaxed environment. You know, to be able to talk about seriousness, to talk about, for one, Black businesses, to talk about Black health, to talk about family, to talk about real issues that we see in our community, but also what are some real solutions. And a lot of times we're going to talk about things that are not government related, meaning that it's what the people can do, right? The old saying about the people power,
Right.
and what you just said. Are you contributing? So I will always say, on the Revive Mississippi show, you know, when you see an issue, you got to ask yourself two questions. What am I doing to contribute to this problem? And then two, what am I doing to do something to solve it? So you have to
Yep.
ask yourself those two questions, especially when you're complaining about a situation. If you're
Yeah.
not contributing to the problem, then what are you doing to contribute to the solution? Because if you're not contributing to the solution, then you also are contributing to the problem. So if you can't help anybody, definitely don't hurt them. Get out the way.
Yeah.
The folks say go somewhere and sit down. Whatever you need to do. But we are here to uplift us and everything that we bring to the table for us, our talents, our ideas, our projects, our events, whatever that we do, and continue to beat that drum and highlighting Black businesses, Black music, Black art, and Black culture, and also um, the Black issues that we have in
Yeah.
our community, and talk about what we deal with, and keep hitting it home and bringing folks on to talk about what's happening with them and how we can work together as a collective. Um, there has been several, situations that have transpired in Black and Brown communities across the country, but for
Hmm.
Mississippi, there are some things that highlight it. Um, and we've talked about them. And what we're going to do is, one of the things that Mississippi Move came up with was a community speak forum, and we did a lot of those workshops, in which was being able to just go around to different college campuses or places in the community. We did like what to do when the police stop you, and educate the community on real issues
Hmm.
and that we always talk about, and what is really the facts, not just saying, man, they just doing this because, no, here's what the law say. And so what we want to bring back is the community speaks part, and we're also going to bring that back in a form not only just in person, but also um, like we're doing now on a podcast with Nightcap Knowledge. And
Yeah.
part of that kickoff will be highlighting an issue that has been going on around the state, and which has been happening with, especially with the interaction with law enforcement, predominantly white male law enforcement, predominantly Black male and young Black male, on the receiving end of multiple altercations that have happened across the state. And
Hmm.
you hear people say about training, training, training. No, you don't need training. Humanity is something that you're supposed to understand from growing up, what you should and should not do. But these things are connected to this because the same things are happening in other states. So it's a condition that's ingrained in you, regardless of what position you would have had. As you saw, also what happened in Brookhaven when the black FedEx driver was, hunted down by the white militia by after dropping off the packages in the FedEx truck, and you chased
Yeah.
the guy down and shot at it, right? So that, and the same thing happened, right? Recently with the brother, and the brother was jogging in his neighborhood. So it's not nothing about training. It's just regular old hate,
Yeah.
regular old hate, racism, control, entitlement, and it's continued to happen. And we can talk about certain people that have made people feel more comfortable in the last 4 years to have those conversations that they round they barbecue. Now they start to carry them out a lot more in real life. And what we're talking about now was the tragedy that took place in Gulfport, where the young black brother was shot by law
Hmm.
enforcement. And from what we understood from doing our investigation and checking around, this is not the first type of incident that has happened with Gulfport PD
Right.
when it come involving African Americans, right? So this is not something that you talk about training. This is a mentality. This is the way things happen. So we don't want to speculate. But we want to bring it out and act like we have never heard anything about this. We want to get it straight from the folks on the ground. So we got a young brother in the back that's about to come out. He's been working hard with a lot of other folks to bring some justice for this brother, for justice for Jaheim. And we're going to bring him out now, and he's going to introduce himself, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on and what we need to be doing. Man, how you doing, bro?
Doing well. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Pardon my beverage, but sometimes the stuff we deal with, you need a drink or something
Hmm.
to deal with this type of stress. Um, and switch it over, Tony.
I know I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. I'm trying.
Hey, look, and Tanya's trying to fill in for Chuck. Chuck is the
Yeah.
engineer. Chuck usually keep everything rolling. But we were just giving folks a little backstory about what happened in Gulfport, and I know we're not doing it any type of justice, and we understand, brother. You know what I'm saying, and we appreciate your work, your service that you're doing to be a part of this process and to organizing. We've been working and organizing for quite a while, and we know that it's trying,
Hmm.
not just on the one situation, but just it mentally and emotionally on dealing with the situation, knowing that somebody done this to another human being, and their entitlement, they walk around like nothing ever happened. So, and it burns you up inside. I'm just saying, it burns you up, and it takes a lot of restraint to hold your composure and try to handle things the right way. So, brother, tell people a little bit about yourself, who you are, and your organization, and then we could dive right into the conversation.
Marquell Bridges, community activist under the nonprofit Building Bridges for Community Unity and Progress. I just travel all over my state fighting for black people, black and brown people, minority people, the poverty stricken, anyone, injustice anywhere. Just try to be a help, try to be a resource to the community.
Now, where are you originally from?
Laurel, Mississippi.
Laurel. Wow, I need to talk to you. Yeah, we working with another situation, and we actually want to get all the relatives on the show to do a real big show with the young man that was killed in relation with Taylorville, right? So some of his family
Christine
members,
Carter.
right, right, and talk to some of his family, and definitely from beginning to try to connect the dots. And a lot of times people don't understand a lot of behind the scenes. It's connecting phone calls with this person, and just trying to get the word out. But another situation in this case where Taylorsville PD didn't do nothing. So same type of mentality. Usually if somebody's irate, and especially if you're young and black, they're gonna say you on drugs or drunk, and they're gonna arrest you, right? You could be having a medical emergency, but they didn't do anything. They didn't even let him stay at the police station when he tried to stay, to tell him that somebody is trying to kill you. And that's a whole other conversation. We definitely want to take away from what we talk about tonight. But we definitely appreciate you, brother. So kind of create the picture and bring some context to what happened, when it happened, and I guess tell the media story, but then tell us what really happened.
Got you.
All right.
I'm gonna run it down and tell, because pretty much everyone has seen what the police chief said. So I'm just gonna run down the real accurate depiction from
Mhm.
of what we have so far. The boys, 5 boys in the car. Jaheim and his 4 friends pull up beside a cruising the coast car. They asked I don't know if y'all familiar with what cruising the
Yep.
coast, but on
Yeah, we
Gulfport,
are.
Mississippi, is where they bring out all the old classic cars, and
Mhm.
it's a really big thing every year. But anyway, they pull up beside the car, ask the car to rev his motor up. The car sticks his middle finger up, proceeds to throw racial slurs. Um, Chase ensues back and forth. The car begins to chase the boys and call the police. The boys escape the chase from the car, end up at the Family Dollar, coming in off Eighth Avenue, about I say 2 minutes. 2 minutes later, officer pulled up off Pass Road. They see the car, which is basically racially profiling, because how did you even know which car was who or who was in the car? But see the car, pulls in. Within 5 seconds, Jaheim was dead. You know, multiple eyewitnesses say he had his hands up. There's a guy with a white guy with a bag, the blue shirt, say he had his hands up. There's a white lady named Deborah Stout. She say he had his hands up and was unarmed when he was shot. There's a nurse, who no one has seen yet, a white lady. She was there, and she was extremely angry. She was there the first night of the vigil, and she was extremely angry because the police wouldn't allow her to offer any aid to Jaheim. They handcuffed him. He stayed handcuffed for another 15. We've been able to depict, based off video so far and based off when the mom arrived on the scene. We know for certain 15 minutes in handcuffs. It only takes 6 minutes and 52 seconds to bleed out. By some people's take, by others, it's 3 minutes and 52 seconds, and that's from a leg or an arm wound. So we're talking about a gunshot to the head. He not only shot, he killed Jaheim with the first shot. The first shot was to the head, and then he shot 7 more times. Shot at him while he was on the ground. The officer is still working. He hasn't been charged or fired. We're boycotting. We called a national boycott for Family Dollar. It took them 30 days to release a edited video to the attorney. And on top of that, the day after Jaheim was killed, they changed camera systems all of a sudden. And employees in the store had made us and the family aware that they had been begging for a new camera system for months. But this is the only case I've ever worked where everybody said the same thing. I know y'all know, as organizers, doing what we do when you first hit the ground, emotions and tensions be high, so it be kind of all kind of stories, and you got to weed through and find the truth. But from the moment I arrived at the Family Dollar, every single witness, black, white, blue, green, whatever, has said Jaheim was shot point blank range with his hands up.
It's
Wow,
it's
wow, wow.
first of all, our condolences to the family and friends of this young brother. Um, because you start talking about trauma, for those of his age and those of his friends that know that this happened. That's something they'll never get over. They're traumatized forever for their life. Um, and similar to the incident that happened, one incident that happened here in Jackson with Capitol Police, where same thing happened. A young man was shot in his car. No gun was found. Don't know what the reason for the officer drawing his weapon. Said only one shot was found, with several bullet holes was found in the vehicle, and it took forever to release the information. And so this is the conversation that goes back and forth when people talk about you disliking law enforcement. And I'm saying no, because if a cardiologist cut the wrong thing and you bleed out, then they're going to be sued. they're gonna
Yep.
lose their license and they going to jail,
Yep.
right? But they, stemming from the basis of the slave patrol, are the only ones that can do this thing, regardless, and do this thing, and nothing happens, except for when it is a brown or black officer and they have shot a white person, and then everything moves a lot quicker. And so that's why I'm painting the picture to everybody to understand that, you have never heard of um, a white officer out of uniform being shot by a black officer in uniform, but you have heard of black officers being shot by white officers in uniform. Gulfport PD, this is something that, from what I've talked to people, this is not the first situation, the first murder that was committed by them. There's been other incidents that had happened where they had one officer they removed and switched around, and now they brought him back to the streets. And it's not training. Training don't have to tell you that you don't shoot someone like that, especially when they are not posing a threat to you. That's
Right.
not training. You don't care, and what it is there's nothing nobody can do about it in your eyes. This is part of the job. This is part of the
You know,
job.
it's. I'm literally looking at a painting from one of my former students. She did "Enough is Enough, Black Lives Matter," and it's just handprints of her and her siblings. And being an educator, and also a former law enforcement officer, I worked in OPP here in New Orleans. And for almost 12 years, between OPP, HOD, Templeman, all those jails, I would always tell the black men, I love you, right? I would tell my students, still to this day, my former students, and I love you. Um, it's painful being a mother of adults and teaching these beautiful kids who are born with love, and you encounter somebody's foolishness who creates hate. My question is, what happened to the levels of accountability? And they wonder why we continue to fight for justice and peace. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You can't tell you, and I would tell certain teachers, you can't hold a student accountable if you can't be accountable for the way you talk to them. Like, I'm that teacher. If you talk and disrespect the student, I got a problem with you. So it's the same thing with law enforcement. I can't call you my law enforcement brothers and sisters when you're not taking accountability. You took this baby's life. This is not the first baby's life that has been taken. We just had an 8-year old here in New Orleans was shot right before Thanksgiving in his own house. When do we fucking wake up? It's yeah, man.
It's this
Just
is it, it, you said justice, and I guess and for us, we got to, so what does justice look like for us? And it's a simple saying that I think it was Dr. Martin Luther King that said, "Until the tears of black mothers are valued just as much as the tears of white mothers."
Yeah.
You know, and we've heard Dave Chappelle and other folks make jokes. Even in a what a traumatic situation is. So you just always accidentally kill black youth. Never accidentally kill one white male youth or one. You always accidentally kill the black male youth. But because you created through your social media and your TV what a quote unquote street thug looks like, and that's how you profile us, but you don't have a profile for the average domestic terrorist. And what do they look like? Why you can't never stop them? Because they look just like you, and you let them walk by, right? 17-year-old white boy went from one state to another with an assault rifle and shot 2 people.
Yep.
But a young black male can't walk out of the store or can't have a cell phone you mistake it for a firearm. and you
You know,
shouldn't because you
it's
feel threatened.
sad. It's sad that we as black mothers and black fathers have to be in deep prayer when our children leave the house.
Just to speak to your point, though, brother, Gulfport PD actually killed Jaheim's uncle, Marvin McMillan. They shot him over 20 times, shot in the house 100 times. He was having a mental health episode, and he had locked himself in the bathroom, and they just shot straight through the house. They killed 3-month-old LaMelo Parker in the beginning of 2021. They killed Leonard Parker Jr. He was a 24-year-old Army vet. He was leaving his friend's house, and the officer said he was just, this is a crazy story I've heard, say he was driving toward him. They clocked him going 5 miles an hour, and he shot and killed him. Still no justice, no officers have been fired. They just killed a young brother like 2 days ago in Moss Point, Mississippi, 30 minutes up the road. Um, Debbie Loggins was killed in 2006. She was hogtied and killed in the back of a police car. In 2018, they killed her son the exact same way. They approached him for a misdemeanor the exact same way. Robert Loggins is actually on camera. When they brought him into jail, the jail refused to take him. Jonathan Mop Top Sanders in 2015 in Quitman, Mississippi. They pulled him off a horse and carriage with his family, choked him to death with a flashlight for 20 minutes. He was unarmed. None of the cops have been fired. None of the cops have been arrested. Like I can keep going, man. It's just, Damian Cameron. I want to make sure I mention him. Damian Cameron, 2021, late 2021. I want to say like December, November. They killed him in front of his mom, Miss Monica. Handcuffed, tased him, and beat him. And still no justice. No cops been fired. MBI investigated all these cases. It's a pattern here. They never release any video. The way they present these things to the grand jury, they don't really show any evidence. It took us 9 months fighting on the ground, 9 months straight to get them to elevate the charges for DeMonterio, the black FedEx driver that y'all mentioned. And in Summit, Mississippi, some racists just tried to shoot at another UPS worker. It was 2 girls in the truck, in the UPS truck. I'm got my eyes on that in Summit, Mississippi. But this is a pattern of Mississippi. We're being denied justice on both ends. When racists kill us, when the racist cops kill us, qualified immunity is stopping us from getting justice on that end. Then on the other end, when black people are seeing violence in their own community, we're being denied justice there. They don't care when you're black. Nobody's solving these crimes same way why Amber Alerts are not being put out. In Mississippi, it's just not justice for black people. And it's to symbolize that it's a Confederate statue at every courthouse in Mississippi. I don't know if y'all knew that, but out front of every courthouse in Mississippi is a Confederate statue.
And they thought I was gone finally. And it took a fight, but so let's keep that conversation going, right? I'm from Lexington, so what we just had with the white chief up there, the most backwards. Oh God, to be working with you sometime. But I'm talking about unqualified, uncertified, part-time, and they made him full-time over all the black certified, and he would call in black officers other words, right? And nobody done anything. And then the other black officers backed him up as he kicked in doors at people's houses and tased them. And I'm just telling me, I'm like, if we on the same level, we would have had a whole fight. It wouldn't have been no march and protest. You wouldn't have to worry about it. I would just tell you where to come get him. But why we don't have that mentality, because I tell people, you look at other foreign countries, you have a certain respect for the powers that be, but also there's a balance system when you don't do what you're supposed to do, right? And for us, I would say for black community, it's internal and external customer service. Internally, we have self-hate that's manifested, why we don't like each other. And that's why we do the things we do to each other. But the external hate, the internal hate was manifested through the external hate. You just don't like us because of who we are, right? And the power that we could possibly possess one day. But you just don't like us because we breathe.
And you allow somebody else's word or depiction of who we are before even meeting us
But you created it.
Determined.
You
Exactly.
created it. You created it. I've seen too many situations, and then one of the comedians, D-Ray was talking about when he cast for a role in a movie in Chicago, from the streets of Chicago, and the white director told him he's just not black enough, meaning he didn't scare him with his words. So you create us as these characters in these movies, and you believe your hype.
Yeah.
You are pretend like you just as scared of a young black male that's 5'7" and 140 pounds as you are somebody that's running after you that's 6'8" and 400 pounds. And you try to make people believe I was scared and feared for my life. Well, you got the wrong line of work. You
How
need to
you
be a
fear for your
greeter.
life and you got the gun?
You
Yeah.
have an aspeton, a taser, mace, two
Yeah.
firearms, and a radio, and you fear for your life.
And a flashlight.
And all we got is black skin.
Exactly.
But they
Exactly.
made us psychologically. It's like I don't know if you ever seen. I forgot what Batman it was, but the Scarecrow when they spray that stuff, and you look at the average person, they look like the biggest monster. That's what it is with us.
Yeah.
No matter what you look like, when they see you, they see the biggest monster in the world.
But let me say this: the sad, the even sad, worst part about that, because you mentioned it, is the fact that externally we take on as a black people the perception of what they've taught or said about us, and like I said, we formulate who we are based on what was said, and it's a lot of hate within our own families. And that's why I love Kendrick Lamar, because this, especially this album, he talks about all of that. It's the sad part about it is, and the number one word I always pull out of all of that, everything that's happening in the world, is accountability. It's
It,
accountability.
You know what was deep about that Lexington case you brought up,
yeah,
what nobody talks about? You know, he when he said he shot that one N-word 119 times, you know
right.
he had killed 12 other people.
Wow.
Yeah, he did that 12 times. He killed 12 people.
And the thing about it is, here's what from what I've heard from being from there is he actually even after that, after he was removed or after they let him go, he was still back. They said they'd seen him, riding, and with other officers. But the thing of it is, officer that had been there, that had a relationship with the community, backed him up because he had the title. I was there one day, right there, talking to another officer that works in a different city. When you know how you park on a different side of the street. Well, this guy happened to be parking. He parked to go in the store, but he parked facing the traffic. Went in the store, head and came back out the store in his truck, get ready to leave. He zips across all lanes and run up on the curb and jump out. You can't do that. You can't park like that. Chest out, because you made somebody that's impotent and entitled and inadequate feel like a
Yep.
Superman by giving him that title.
Yep.
And everybody is respecting him because of his title. You know, a classmate of mine, where they threatened and put his sister in jail. This is another guy that looks like him in an army uniform, and they showed up to take him to jail until the sheriff showed them and said, "This Robert, what you gonna take Robert to jail for? Who's a minister, right?" So when I'm telling you that this is just one out of 1,000 situations, that has happened in this state, that there's no justice, and it does not get as much airtime, even on our personal pages, as foolishness. So when the reason that so much this is able to happen is because we are not where we need to be as a
You know,
people. We are not on the page
We
where we
don't
need to be.
we don't believe. I see you. The only thing great about what I do is I'll say is I care and I believe black people. See, people, I don't really do anything special. When I go to these scenes, I
Right.
believe. I listen to the story. I listen to what the police saying, and I believe my people. You know, that's what's not going on in the Black community. Like, we hear these things. We know that the police were slave patrollers. We know that they killed everyone from Fred Hampton to Malcolm X to Martin Luther King. Yet we get all our information from the news, and the news strictly reports exactly what the police say. It's crazy as hell when you really think about the gist of it. The way I trust in a system that has never worked for us is kind of retarded to me, and I really don't understand it. But we have a lot of faith. I know it's certain ages and demographic with the Jaheim thing. All they did was turn on the news, seen what the police chief said, and they believe that's what happened. But the police lie all the time. The police cover up all the time. So um, they really shot this 15-year-old boy with his hands up. We have a mass protest December 3rd at 1016 Pass Road, Gulfport, Mississippi, starting at 1 o'clock. We're marching from the Family Dollar where Jaheim was killed to the police station.
And I know we had talked about more offline for people that that want to participate. Who's the contact person? What they need to do, and then for those who can't come, what do you want them to do?
And before you do that, give me the date and the location again.
December 3rd, 2022, 1016 Pass Road, Gulfport, Mississippi, Family Dollar. And we're marching from the Family Dollar to the police station. You can either come for the march or you can just pull straight up to the police station. It's up to you.
December 3rd, 2022, 1016 Pass Road, Gulfport, Mississippi.
Start at 1 p.m.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was your question, sir?
The other question for those who cannot attend, what do you want them to do?
Okay. Well, first, I'll base just more than that. This is a teachable moment for anyone. It's a lot of ways. Either you're going to give your blood, sweat, and time, or either you're going to educate the people, or you're going to give your coin and fund the movement. That's literally really all you can do, other than on the ground, boots on the ground, organizing. So if they want to fund the movement, what I do, I don't receive any funding. I've been self-funded since I've started. So I want all the donations to go to Miss Katrina Mateen. That's Jaheim's mother. She should receive every dime. She has a GoFundMe, and the Cash App. I don't remember the GoFundMe exactly, but the Cash App is Forever Sexy 81. Katrina Mateen. Yes, that's where all the donations and will go. I'm handling the shirts. Me and Miss Shania Hudson are handling the shirts, and the mom just want that to recircle and get bigger and bigger, and eventually all those proceeds will go to her. But she just wants more awareness for her son. So if you want to donate to her. If you want to help the protesters, we need bodies on the ground. We need bodies for canvassing. Now, the type of donations we will take is water, food donations to feed the protesters, or anything to just signs and different things of that nature to make the protest better.
You said forever, and then for clarification, is that forever like FOR or the number 4?
FOR.
EVER 61.
Sexy 81.
Sexy 81.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she's Katrina, Katrina Mateen. Spell her last name.
You found it. That is her.
Well, I want to get her last name. How do you spell her last name?
Mateen.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
And they do have a GoFundMe. It's on our pages. I apologize for not having that right-handed, but I'll send that to Chuck, so y'all can post it at a later date. But yeah, that's her Cash App. That's her direct Cash App. If you want to do it, in any other type of donations or purchases of shirts, you can get with me. Like I said, water. You can never have enough water when you're protesting. You can never have enough signs, cooler signs, better signs, more targeted signs toward Jaheim. Anybody want to make and donate those. The Justice for Jaheim rubber bands are $1. We're selling those as well. We're just trying to raise more awareness and fund the movement that way. And we want all the proceeds to go to the mom, and just for her tremendous loss that we can't replace.
And for those who are watching, anybody that's that's in the Jackson area, if you're interested in participating and going down, reach out to us at Mississippi Move 662-205-6683. That's 662-205-6683, and we could try to assist and make sure that you can get down there to the protest. And we know, like you just said, you need water, you need food, you need everything. You need those items. You need bullhorns. You need speakers. You need everything to make it. But also, we want everybody to understand. Whoever participates, follow whoever the person that is in charge, right? And everybody make sure you watch for plants. Plants. To those who do not know, in the words of the great Malcolm X, you can't stop them from being a part of your group. The goal is to make sure that you have enough people that they are covered where they can't do anything. The plants will be the person that will start the argument or throw something. And they really working with whoever you protesting against, or if it's the law enforcement or even undercovers, who will be a part of the plant to throw something to make it become a riot. Right? Now let's talk about that. Riot. First time ever, January 6th, you led an insurrection on your own country. And while you was the seated president, and nothing has happened to those folks. Right? I want people to understand that now. So now, but the only time, but when black folks are protesting, be usually 100% out of the time, because someone has been killed unjustifiably, that's a riot. And they usually find someone there that's a plant to escalate a situation to make it worse. And so, and that's what I want folks to understand. And I always have a problem with calling these folks that do this stuff law enforcement officers, because this is not the same person that'll dive into a pool and save a baby. These are not the same people, but yet still they're protected and covered the same way. I have an issue with that. And I think everybody that would do that thing, that took their oath seriously, should have an issue with the same folks that protect you protecting these killers. If you're a good officer, you should have a problem with this type of thing happening, and that the whole department is bad.
If you're a good officer or a good old officer, it's a
Well,
difference.
Right.
that's
Say that again, Tanya. That's right.
But are there any good officers if they sit in the department where they know bad officers, where they know they killing people and they cover it up? That's gang mentality. When you look at it, what's the difference between the gang?
Oh, that's the first gang.
For their crimes, that's how I look at it. When people begin to talk about good cops, like it's okay, Gulfport Police Department. It's one cop that killed Jaheim. Every cop has watched that video already. You crazy if you think they haven't. But ain't one cop went out and came out on the limb and said, I'm gonna do the right thing. So where does these good cops be? Tamir Rice, 12-year-old Tamir Rice, he's when he was killed, that officer's trying to get his job back. Where are these good cops that saying hell no, that's telling the truth with Breonna Taylor? All the department, when they shamed the boyfriend and they had the wrong boyfriend, made him look bad and made the family look bad and labeled Breonna as a drug dealer, all this stuff. And then 2 years later, and cops started going to jail. Where was those good officers that knew they falsified warrants and different things of this nature? They don't exist. There are no good cops in a racist system. As long as they choose blue over the truth, as long as they choose blue over black skin, then there are no good cops.
So what I said at the beginning, there's two things you see and you say when you see a situation. What am I doing to contribute to it, and what can I do to change it? And so if you don't do anything to change it, then you're a part of the problem.
Absolutely. And
you're a part of the problem.
That's what we are experiencing at every industry in this world, especially being Black. And we have the power to change. Once we realize our power, it's powerful. So I just want to make sure everybody understands tonight's what we are pushing and encouraging The mission tonight is Justice for Jaheim, the Justice for Jaheim movement. This story, and not just story, this truth that was shared tonight. It I pray and manifest that people begin to take accountability for their actions and everything that they do, especially in this situation, and all of our black and brown babies that are being, their lives being taken. So those who have their hands behind the gun, who are taking their lives, um, touch not mine anointing and do no profit, no harm. That's one of my favorite, because you're constantly messing with ancestors' children. And so I just ask that we all stand for what's right, justice for Jaheim movement tonight. Our brother Marquel Bridges, with Building Bridges for Community Unity and Progress, has given us not just part of what happened, but the truth, with the graphics of understanding that this is real. We're living in real times, and we are, nothing is new under the sun. So we're going through some of the same things that our grandparents and ancestors went through, and we're living in those times today in 2022. So we ask that those who are available on December 3rd, make sure you get out to Gulfport, Mississippi, 1016 Pass Road at 1 p.m. The Justice for Jaheim March. They're going to be marching from the Family Dollars to the police department, holding that police department accountable for the monster that took this baby's life. And so we need you guys to be out there supporting. If you're not able to make it, make sure you support the Justice for Jaheim movement by donating to his mom, Miss Katrina Mateen. Her cash app is $ forever sexy 81. And we ask that you guys support. We'll have the GoFundMe where we'll share on our platform. It's heavy. This energy is heavy. But we have to face the truth that we're living in perilous times, and we got work to do.
I've said, and for those who always question and ask about the 50s and 60s, and I'm saying, like, well, they are doing a great job in helping you understand what it was like every day, right? And even with so much of the black codes, anytime there's a couple of y'all and too many of y'all in one group, then you breaking the law. It might not be a law they can point to, but it's a law in their head, and then they're going to justify and say, a friend of ours who's law enforcement, his son was, um, and they lied to him to his face like he don't know. His son was walking from work to his apartment, and they said they have a law where they see people walking, they stop and ask them questions. You know, so you can't walk. What about a lot of these, because what you say more moderate younger white folks who are, working to save, the planet, and they go green, they ride bikes, they have electric cars, they walk everywhere they go. So you stopping them too?
Maybe
But
we ought to
someone,
start stopping the police and ask them, what was your oath? Why did you
it,
take the oath?
you know,
What's
it,
your
it,
purpose?
for some of us, like I said, depending on what you are, for us, they beat the code of ethics in you like you pledging. Can you spit your code of ethics?
Hmm.
Can you spit your oath? And what does it mean to you? Or is this just another job? Or is this part of the plan? So what I'm telling us as a community, we have to do what we have to do to hold folks accountable. But the first people we have to hold accountable is us. We have to get ourselves together
Yeah.
and be on one accord. And I tell anybody, all this stuff that has been created through social media and other avenues while we're going back and forth with each other, a house divided cannot stand.
Yep.
The goal is to keep us divided and separated, and we put entertainment over education. And we keep talking about they don't teach this in schools. No, that's why people created freedom schools years ago. It's not designed to be created in schools. It's not designed to be taught in schools. We lost that right when we got right to public education. When we were learning inside the little church, we was able to learn everything we needed to learn. But when public education, that means public dollars, that means public
Mhm.
rules and regulations, right? So we got to quit saying that. But when communities hold these external teachings and workshops and programs, take your child.
Yeah.
if you want them to know whatever it is. Don't say they don't teach this. Now they made it legal not to talk about racism. Is that
Yeah.
not the most racist shit you ever heard in your life?
Yeah.
Because if you do not know your history, you are destined to repeat it.
And
African proverbs say that.
let me say this as an educator and as a mother as well. Hold these teachers accountable. Hold them accountable for what they're teaching your babies. If your baby come home and tell you, some parents listen because they're not making these things up. And I'm
Uh-huh.
one of those educators that they go home and tell their parents what Miss Cannon said. And my principal get called me and emails and everything. I say, yeah, I said it. I'm that educator. Hold these teachers accountable for what they teach your babies and whatever information they're not teaching them, but they can learn from entertainment. You better get a hold to the parents.
We have a fraternity brother whose daughter went to school in Ridgeland, and this upsetted him. He don't curse. He upsetted him to the point, and all this is connected because it's the same system. They
Pipelines.
told his daughter that Africans came here to this country because they were looking for jobs. I'm done. They told his daughter in school that how African people got from the continent of Africa to North America is because they came here looking for jobs. And we're talking about controlling the narrative. And this is before the critical race theory issue.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you again, if we didn't have something so great and so important, just like I talk about the city of Jackson, I ain't never seen nobody yet steal some shit that wasn't worth nothing.
Hmm.
Again, right? We have to understand our capacity and our power. One thing ain't never changed. They might not respect your color, they might not respect your vote, but they gonna damn sure respect that dollar. Hit
Yeah.
their ass in the pocket.
Hit
Our
'em where it
people
hurts.
boycotted the buses for over 180 days when we didn't have any other transportation but public transportation to prove a goddamn point. Start hitting these folks in the pocket. Hit them in
So
the pocket.
donate. Get the word
Hit
out there, y'all.
hit
Get
them in
the
the
word out
pocket.
there
A
this week.
racist white officer can kill somebody and have $200,000 in his bank account as soon as they send him home with pay.
Yep. Get out there this weekend. If you guys can't make it to Gulfport, please donate. If you aren't able to donate, you still can support by getting the word out there. Post it on your social media, share with family and friends. Families, I know this is heavy, but these conversations got to be had in our Black families. We got to protect our babies.
And
Yeah.
we got
Go
six
ahead.
full minutes
Go
left,
ahead,
brother.
Mark.
Anything
I'm
you want
sorry.
to say?
Yes. I want to highlight a couple families, but I wanted to touch on what you said, brother. You had asked about the Taylorsville situation. I'm actually working three cases at the moment. The Jaheim DeMonterio Gibson being the first one, the black FedEx driver, and the Rasheen Carter case as far as lead
Right.
organizing, and just trying to give all I got to these families and everything. Basically, private investigator, whatever I got to be, whatever I got to do, whatever I got to, be of
Mm.
service any way I can. So you had brought that up. She will be in Gulfport, standing with the McTeen and McMillan family. We had went to the vigil. The first vigil they had for Miss Tiffany. She's a wonderful lady. My heart goes out to the Carter family. All my love. I want to mention them. I want to mention Miss Sherry Gibson and DeMonterio Gibson, the black FedEx driver. They still fighting, and Katrina Mateen, and the McMillan family for Jaheim. Justice for Jaheim, justice for DeMonterio, and justice for Rasheen Carter.
Really quick, Marquel, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, are you on what social media platforms are you located?
Marquell Bridges on all platforms, and because I'm direct organizer, my number is 601-620-6612.
601-620-6612.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You guys can make sure. And here's the thing, you can reach Marquel or Markel.
Marquell.
Marquel. You can support Marquel as well. He didn't say anything about supporting him, but we need to support this brother too. Cover him and protect him because it takes a lot of work and energy to be amongst these scenes and issues that we're dealing with. And so we're going to pray God's peace and protection over you as well and our families that are fighting for justice where we are today in this time. Um, so anyway, you all could support him. Again, he's Marquel Bridges on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow, support. If you have any questions, you all can reach out to him. Again, he's with Building Bridges for Communities, Community, Unity, and Progress. And he's with the Justice for Jaheim movement, along with Justice for, say those names again.
Rasheem Carter and DeMonterio Gibson.
DeMonterio Gibson, Rasheen Carter. So he's doing the work. Get out this
And
weekend.
3-month-old LaMelo Parker. I almost forgot. 3-month-old LaMelo Parker. Gulfport PD killed him as well. Those are my 4 open cases.
All right. So families, if you want to get more information and supporting Marquel, you all can you'll see him this weekend in Gulfport. If you want to support Marquel's mom, Miss Katrina Montine, you can support on her Cash App. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Marquel at 601-620-6612. We
Hold
appreciate
on. I'm glad I looked at her text. It's forever 6039. Oh
Okay,
my
wait.
God.
Okay, that's okay.
Listen, you done about you look. Some folks probably done bless somebody.
Hello.
Lord, I hope not. Oh my God. Forever 6039.
All right, for those who donated to Forever Sexy 81, Forever Sexy 81, go ahead and send that money to the right place. Forever Sexy 39. So
Yeah,
make sure,
that's the time you go ahead and change that and put that up so people
oh,
can
I
see it
already
right
got
quick.
it. So
Oh
you
yeah,
all can
you own it.
support. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Support
Thank you, and
Miss.
I apologize.
That's okay. Look, and that's so see how that's what we call accountability. Like we take it, we use the truth to continue to push us forward, and that's why Marquel, with your company, your organization, Building Bridges for Community Unity and Progress. That's how we move forward with accountability and truth. Once you live in your truth, accountability becomes part of who you are. So let's start getting this word out there and being accountable for everything that we do, especially for this weekend for Jaheim's family. Let's bring justice for this baby, peace, and healing to his family. So you guys get out there this weekend at Gulfport, 1016 Pass Road, 1 p.m. Gulfport, Mississippi, marching from Family Dollar to the police department, Gulfport PD. And if you can't make it out there, support Justice for Jaheim movement by donating to his mom via Cash App, $ Forever Sexy 39, Miss Katrina Mateen. And if you have questions, you guys can contact Marquel at 601-620-6612.
So two things I want to point out real quick. Everybody that is appointed by someone that's elected. I
Yep.
want everybody to remember that, right? So everybody that's appointed is appointed by somebody elected, and then those folks receive their money from people, businesses usually. So, i.e., if the mayor is not going to hold the chief accountable for holding the chief, and the chief is not going to hold the officer accountable, find out who supports the mayor and stop supporting them
Yeah.
with your business in any type of form of fashion. There's a chain always connected, right? And they say always follow the money. So that's what we got to make sure that we do. There's more than one way to skin a deer. I would say that. Of course, saying a cat. You know what I'm saying? Mississippi understand when you say a deer. But
Yeah.
brother, I want you to make sure you be safe. Be
Yep.
careful. I know you got your team tight, and they're gonna look for reasons, and to make sure everybody know that they need to be on their p's and q's. Watch their sixes. You know what I'm saying? Keep their head on a swivel, and and I hope I know you're gonna have somebody that just documenting. If you have a flyer too, send that to Chuck. And if someone is gonna be going live, let us know if there's a link so we can share that link and connect folks to the live. Because that's going to be the most important for folks that cannot make it is to be able to see that live from beginning to end,
Mhm.
because that can reach thousands of people and a lot more eyes, and that's a lot more security for y'all. So
Yep. So we'll make sure you guys really quick subscribe and like Nightcap Knowledge on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Again, we want to be sure to follow us on all social media platforms as well. And then also, if you're interested in being on the show to share your story, to share your product, your upcoming project, please email us at nightcapknowledge@gmail.com. Next week, We have an amazing, amazing entrepreneur sister created the first HBCU makeup line and Divine Nine makeup line. So we'll have her next week, Shantae, and we're going to talk more about putting our dollars in our pockets, supporting
Mm.
us, holding us accountable, and staying truthful to who we are, because all we could be is black because everybody else is taken and they want to be us. So
That's all you got to do. And we'll continue to work to get to where the money resides. So we don't have the music tonight. We're going to continue to check on DJ George Chuck and Lil
yes.
Jackson. You know, hey, I, you know, it's different when you're on the parent side. You know, we've been there where we've been scaring the hell out of our parents because of an injury. It's different
Mhm.
when you on the parent side and they'd have done something. So we're going to check on Chuck and check on Jackson. So yeah, look, y'all be safe out there, and we're going to continue to work. And this is Nightcap Knowledge.
Peace. Ew, ew.
Thanks for amplifying Black voices.